Hello, my name is Shuttley, and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Korea. In previous episode, we did have quite a bit of economic growth, but we did also have a bit of drop there. But overall, we're still, growing. We are actually fairly high on the liberty side right now. We got exactly 75, which, technically speaking, I do wonder. No, actually, I don't think we can declare the independence yet. We need to get liberty side to 90, and right now I think we're going to be hovering around the 75, or potentially dropping a little bit. It's currently going downwards per week, partially because there's a support regime, so that's causing a bit of issues. Another thing is, of course, the prestige. We don't have the prestige quite in our favor. Now, we are going to get a little bit more bureaucracy, but we might actually do after that maybe a bit more army build-up to get us to like 60 regular battalions or something. That might actually help. The private sector, in the meanwhile, is building some paper mills, shipyards, and textile mills, and a railway as well, so that's going to be quite nice. Mining accident. At this point, you know what? I'm going to boost the industrialists. And a foreign manifesto. Oh, right, you are. We're trying to pass the interventionism. I guess they can get a little bit of support for the preserved agrarianism. Agrarianism isn't particularly bad necessarily, but it's not exactly great either. But I think what we should try to do is definitely get the interventionism. Ah, right, there's a war going on in Indochina. We don't really need to worry about that. We still got a little bit debt to pay. But we are building currently, so actually we can keep on constructing things. That means the investment pool is still going to be increasing in size, and we can still get the economy growing fairly quickly with the private sector. Oh dear, our general has just died. We've got no general in the army. Mountain combat expert could be okay, because I believe it is a little bit elevated terrain, especially the northern front there. On the other hand, the defensive strategies could also be quite useful. You know what? We're actually going to recruit that one. Let's give that a promotion. There we go. So now we can at least have the army back in, well, I wouldn't say full strength, but in strength nonetheless. Do we actually have yes, so we've got the munitions plant. It's got a fairly good demand for the stuff, which is actually quite useful. We do produce a lot of it. Well, a decent chunk of it. We do have a fairly good availability of explosives and lead in here. So another level for the munitions plant would be quite handy, but I think we might let... Oh, right. Now we could probably... Let's actually go ahead and do a little bit of army build-up again. So we've got 30 infantry. I'm going to go ahead and get some more lancers, actually. Okay, so in Jangho, there's not enough qualifications, I think. At least not necessarily. We'll get some cavalry down here in Yeongnam. We'll build all 5. Thanks, we could have build them all at once. But yeah, so that's going to cost us a tiny bit. It's going to slow down some of the private construction, but they are going to be built fairly quickly, so I'm not going to be too worried about all of that. And that means that we can get a bit of extra military, which is increasing our prestige, and thus keeping us, well, hopefully, getting the liberty side going up again, because right now it is going downwards. Well, of course, after that, we might get a little bit more artillery as well, just to be on the safe side. Although not initially immediately, I think we're going to build something else in between. How we're doing it on institutions could increase the law enforcement, but that's about it. We're still trying to pass the interventionism, which does have 34% chance. There's a bit of fighting going with the Central Asia. I don't think we need to worry about that one, really. And we are still paying off the debt. I mean, it's still costing us a tiny bit, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. We have gotten the paper mill recently. We're getting another food industry, actually. That's going to be quite useful. And, of course, the textile mill and the railway are also underway. There's no foreign queue currently building in our nation, which is fair. It does actually perhaps then reduce the reliance or the amount of GDP owned by the Chinese, for example. And thus, we might be able to recover the liberty side. But I suppose they are doing their darndest to slow us down. But, oh well. It is what it is. But we've got 164 prestige. How much does Jing have? They have 276. Okay, so technically speaking, we do have a relatively good... I suppose it needs to be 1.5 times, so yeah. They do have more than that, right? Yeah, they do. Ooh, low progress to drafting. Oh, there we go. We just need 2 more successful rolls and we'll have interventionism. Then we can maybe change some other laws as well. But we did change the tax laws already. We are almost out of debt, so we could potentially start reducing some of the tax... Well, maybe not. Not yet, at least. We'll need to get a lot better income. Now, the GDP is at least increasing. It was 17 million at the start of this episode. So that's going to be hopefully growing to like at least 18 or more today. Remains to be seen, but there is a chance for it. Ah, there we go. We got the military build-up. It's still recruiting, though. Suppose, are we at innovation gap? No, we still got a little bit of room to go. We could potentially get another university down here, though, to get the qualifications sorted out faster, so we can actually race out the troops faster. Right, so what do we actually need currently in our market? Some things that we could maybe help with, I guess. Most of the things aren't actually that bad, now that I think of it. Did we get the railway built up here? We did. And also in the south. Okay, so we got railway in all states at least. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and build some more ports. It might slow down a little bit of the expansion of the private sector, but at the same time that's going to allow to do more trade, which can actually lead to a lot more income. Right now the tariffs are only 1.7 thousand, so it's not really that massive. But we've got only 2 trade routes. It's a little bit of selling alcohol to Japan and importing some paper from France. But we don't also have a lot of convoys available, so if we can just increase that number... Oh, there we go, obligation to Prussia expired. But they can't do anything bad with that, I hope. Now we... no, we're still not high enough. Yeah, they got 1.6 times the prestige. I suppose if we were to get a little bit more cannons, that might fix some of the issues. But I'm going to let the private sector build up at least a textile mill before we start expanding more. We're getting a lead mine as well, which can be very useful actually. But yeah, the investment pool is still growing. We've got 1.7 million in there, so that'll last us for a little while. We've got 17.5 million in GDP total. The literacy rate is still pretty... not particularly great. It's already 1880s. So we've got like a bit more than 50 years. And yeah, if we want to get that to 90%, we would have had to have gotten the education laws changed, but we have not had any party really supporting those laws, so that's a bit of a problem. Also, we probably couldn't, yeah, we couldn't really push for the religious schools anyway. Although, technically speaking, we probably could pass that. Religious schools at least, maybe the private schools, but at least the religious school would be nice. But that might just take a while. Now let's see how the roll for the interventionism is going to go. And we actually have gold reserves, finally. It took a while. Oh, there we go. One more successful roll and we have the interventionism. Now it's probably not going to succeed on the next roll. So we're going to get that. I suppose what I could do is I could build up the army to the 60 battalions. So we'll get another 5 artillery. I think we'll do that in the northwest. It's going to cost us a little bit extra, but we did get the textile mill. We're going to get another coal mine, actually, as well. And the railway is going to take a little while, but we're going to get these barracks built in a matter of a few months. Oh, and the power of the purse is not far off either. After that, we'll get the central banking, which is actually going to be very nice. The interest rate isn't going to be that bad currently, but of course, we are probably going to take a little bit of debt every now and then when we're building with full capacity of the private or the government or public sector, I suppose I should say. But at least we are definitely increasing the economy overall. I do wonder, so alright, so that is in the capital. Do they have oh, they are about at the limit for infrastructure. That makes sense then. There's also the throughput is a little bit on the low side, at least currently. Oh dear, oh, colonial exploitation. Okay, I had to change it, appears. Right, well, 2 more months for the power to post. That's going to allow us to recruit more ships faster, which actually reminds me, we might have to recruit some more flotillas just to get a little bit larger fleet to go. Are we, yeah, we're still losing a lot of, oh yeah, they've got 1.7 times the prestige now. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. So we got so, well, relatively close to actually getting independence, and then things, oh. Okay, agitator died. And the... Oh, protection is, okay. Credit where credit's due. We'll credit the industrialists. Because I want the industrialists to be in very powerful currently to pass the laws that we really want to improve our economy with. We're also about 0.9 innovation away from our or current production. That reminds me, did we get the dialects yet? No, we did not. Okay, so we're still pretty far behind in tech. To be fair, we got censorship and many other things that have been slowing down the tech spread, so that hasn't really been favorable to us. There we go, that is almost all the barracks is built. That's good, and the military size is definitely increasing. I don't suppose our... Let's actually have a look at the ledger. And prestige. So 176 versus... how much does Jing have? 300... Oh, wow, yeah, they've gotten a lot more now. Hey, there's the power of the purse. Right, what we can actually do for that, then, is just go ahead and switch the naval bases to use the power of the purse. There we go, so that will definitely help. Don't suppose there's anything else that we need to currently change in the laws here. Not the laws, the production methods, sorry. Probably not really. We still don't need more alcohol, I'm pretty sure. Oh, right, we're not building anything. Let's go ahead and build another port. Just get more and more convoys, because I'm pretty sure that more convoys means more trade, and that means more revenue from the... Yeah. Ooh, ration speed captivate the public. Yeah, we'll just get a boost there. So what do the landowners actually support now? So they are protectionists. They do endorse interventions, and that's actually quite useful. Paternalistic. Theocracy, monarchy, oligarchy, land voting, autocracy. Herder bureaucrats, local police force. Agrarianism and traditionalism. They are neutral towards interventionism at least, so that's good. Statocratic. Alright then. And patriarchal. Yeah, so not exactly the most beneficial laws there, let's just say. And population definitely been increasing though. I suppose the standard of living is still hovering around 10. It could be better, it could also be a lot worse. So how are we looking on the population charts anyway? So peasants still make about 62%. Labourers do make 22% now. And then clerks make about 4.3%. Peasants actually do hold the most political strength, followed fairly closely by capitalists, and then aristocrats getting the third place there. I suppose the middle strata is now 1.6 million. The upper strata hasn't really grown that much though. I'm sure that there's a little bit growth, but not too much. So the port is going to take a little bit longer. We're going to get the 2 mines now, then a fertilizer plant, and another sulfur mine. That'll actually be quite handy. Inefficient agriculture, yeah, we'll just follow their advice. There we go, we've got 100,000 in the gold reserves. What we could probably... Oh, we got 18.1 million in GDP as well. Okay, let's have a look at the diplomacy. Are we still... Yeah, we're still losing a lot of points in here. Part of that is from the prestige. There's, of course, the support regime thing that is reducing us our stuff quite quickly. Oh, our relations aren't too good. Okay, that's something that we're going to at least do something about. Yeah, they've gotten them back to full... Okay, well now it's at least going down by 1 every 50 days. You know what? The landowners can be a little bit upset if they really want to. But I don't want to give them any more power currently. Come on, we've got 50% chance of passing the interventionism now. That's probably going to increase the investment pool quite a bit as well, which means that we can then go ahead and increase the construction speed a bit further. We'll probably still hold on to just, you know, one government building being built at any given moment, but that should be fine. Because we did hit 18 million, I think, of GDP, but it's dropped now a little bit. So that's a bit unfortunate. But we are also hopefully getting a bit more convoys, which will definitely assist our trade, and thus give us a bit more tariff. We're actually not getting that much tariffs currently. Oh, right. Okay, so the tariff is... Wait, is that... I don't know, some of that might be tariffs to the enemy. Or not the enemy, the rivals, I suppose I should really say. Right, how we're looking on... yeah, so we've got 49. We've still got way too good relations with China. Although, have we... oh, yeah, we have actually reduced the reduction there already a little bit. And we have interventionism. There we go. Let's have a look. How much is that going to be in the investment pool? There's 1.6 still. 2.6. It might take a few months or a few weeks to sort of get to the proper numbers. Oh, looks like there's another revolt in... Oh, Baltic liberal revolt. There's Baltic governance. Okay, so yeah. Baltic states are having a bit of issues there. The port is going to take a little bit longer. We're going to get the fertilizer plant and another sulfur mine, food industries, and a logging camp. At this point, I think we are going to actually go ahead and build another government sector somewhere, or construction sector somewhere. I suppose the capital could be as good as any. We can still build as well. We can, after that is built, we can continue building one building at a time for us. But the private sector is going to be able to grow a little bit. Oh wow! Oh right, because we're constructing more now. That's why the numbers are growing so quickly there. But yeah, so we'll get one more of those. That's going to allow us to build up even more things. We'll get to at least 70 total, which means that there's going to be like 25 for the government constructions or thereabouts. And then everything else is going to go to the private sector, which if we can get to 75 construction, that would probably be a bit more ideal. Because that would be then 2 constructions full speed and then a little bit on third one. But again, it shouldn't take too long. I think what I will do, though, is I will go ahead and build another port over here. So we can keep the construction going. But the construction sector will be done fairly quickly anyway. We've got 17.8 million now. Okay. I'm sure that will help. And we've got 72 convoys, which I'm guessing the convoys are going to be used as much as possible. And I suppose the tariffs are mostly paying for the subsidies by the looks of it. We're still paying £25,000 per week to China. My goodness. That is why we need to get our independence, because that is killing our economy, really. Speaking of economy, though, how's the GDP of China? There's 88.3 million. So theirs hasn't really grown that much. It's been slowly climbing upwards, but, you know, for the longest time, it hasn't really grown that much. Ours hasn't grown massively either yet, admittedly, but I'm sure that we'll start getting a bit more stuff for that. So what do we get in the military starting to spread? Oh, it's the cranes, actually. That means more port levels. That will be quite handy. So in society, it's going to be central banking, then it's going to be something. The corporate charters would be quite nice, or the modern insurers for the extra infrastructure. Would also be quite nice. Dialects would be good for research. Pharmaceuticals would unlock some more health health-related things. But that might still take a while. I think actually after the port is built, we might go ahead and build another university up here. I'm just going to queue that up already. I'm not going to be losing money that quickly in the end. So I think we're going to be fine. And yeah, the port is not going to take too long. The fertilizer plant is still going to take a little while, and the sulfur mine after that. We're going to get a lot of logging camps. No foreign queues though, so that's good. That does mean that the entanglement will at least be slowly reduced. It's still 2.5, because they do own 20% of our GDP. But the difference between the GDPs is about, what, 5 times now? Because, it's, you know, yeah, it's about 5 times. So that's, yeah, not exactly ideal, but we can probably reduce that even further. But the central banking should be done soon. We don't actually need the extra university quite yet, but for the job qualifications over here, if we're going to increase the naval base in Yongnam, we might also do a little bit of a naval base in Youngho, to be fair, just to get a little bit of a fleet going. That's going to be somewhat of an easy way to get more prestige, really. Which right now we got, well, we got a little bit. Also, oh, okay, Association of Syndicates has formed. Right, so the steel mill up here is not increased yet in size. I suppose we don't use steel that much yet. We do use a decent bit, but it could be worse. So yeah, we still haven't gotten the economic dominance. Although at this point, I'm kind of... Oh, there we go, there's the central banking. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'll just go ahead and build up the 2 levels over here. It may not be entirely... Oh, art and papers. I'll just get the paper mill through it, really. There we go, back to 18 million. Still don't... Yeah, we still can't do any of those. At the least, the relations with China are going down. So that's going to reduce the speed. And I suppose once we get below 50 points, I believe that is when the scaling impact of a low limited desire will start slowing down the decay. Oh, pharmaceuticals is the one spreading. Actually, that's not a bad one. Not a bad one. We're about to get the... Well, soon enough we'll get the baking powder. And after that, it's going to be something on the tier 3 in the production, finally. Did we on the military? No, in the military we haven't gotten to tier 3 yet, nor have we gotten to that on the society side of things. There's so many things on the society that we still need to research. We may need to start focusing down on the society things sooner or later, but I want to get a little bit more of the production stuff going as well, because that's going to be the primary way for us to get the GDP up. Well, not necessarily the only, of course, but the primary way for sure. It's getting the better techs. Oh, that's going to be a lot of logging camps. I suppose that's going to reduce our reliance on the Chinese lumber. So that could actually be quite useful. So oil, oh, ammunition is still pretty high price. So what I could do, of course, since we got a little bit of gold reserves, what I might start doing is nationalizing some of the Chinese holdings. Or Chinese things and then sell them again. Hopefully to get them in our, you know, ownership instead. Oh, there's the university done. Let's go ahead and build another... I'm gonna go and build another port. We do have a little bit extra convoys available right now, though, so I suppose what we could do is... can we get opium from somewhere? No, we cannot. What about coal? No. Am I not allowed to do any trading currently? Or is the game just, you know, deciding that no, you can't do anything? I'm still part of the market. I think that I'd be able to do something, but it's not showing anything in here. Okay, if we do it through this way then. So the opium was definitely one of the things that we needed to import. Let's have a look. Ah, there we go. I'll import that from the British market. That'll probably be a lot of money from that. And also probably a whole lot of convoys being needed for that, admittedly. Okay, and now we're getting 2,000 from the tariffs. Let's have a look at the trade routes. So yeah, it's not a massive amount of stuff yet. But I suspect that that will be increasing. Now, is there actually any laws that we should try to change? There's still nothing for the schools or healthcare that we could try passing. We can't get any sort of wider appeal laws for the voting. Can't change this religion or the religious law. Is there anyone that I could ask to support our independence? Currently, no. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. Ah, okay, Conservative Party still won the elections. Let's have a look. Okay, we can go for that one. As the parties then. So that means that we've got at least a decent loyal or legitimacy, and thus the loyalties or loyalist number should be increasing a little bit. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and increase the navy a little bit. We still don't have anything really better than light ships. Okay, 4 light ships and 1 man of war over here in Youngho. So that's going to allow us to have at least up to 10 ships. It's still fairly tiny fleet, mind you. But you will increase the prestige by probably another 9, which is going to be a fairly good amount. Well, I say fairly good. It is going to be an increase, although they still got more than double what we have. So we've got a lot of work to do to catch up in that. We also, well, we will be gaining and spending a decent amount of money here. So we have now up to 87.5 innovation. That's going to keep us going for a little while on max speed. And what did we get? Right, so that we got the banking. We are now getting baking powder in 4 to 5 months. That shouldn't take too long. Oh, there's a steel mill finally being built. Oh, that's in our capital. Okay. So that is level... Yeah, that is going to be level 2. So it might really not meet that many of the economic dominance goals because... yeah, the private sector isn't really going for those all that much. And we're trying to hold on to the goal here as best as we can. Hey, we can request market control. They will not accept that. If I offer them an obligation, they still would not accept that. So that's actually going to increase our liberty side a little bit further. That also reduce the relations with them a little bit, I think. So soon enough, they will be no longer cordial, which means that the liberty side will start dropping slightly slower. They do still have quite a bit more prestige than we do, so that's going to be a problem. Our GDP, at least, is growing. How's their GDP looking like? They've got about 89 million now, so it's still quite a bit larger than ours. Let's have a look. So it is still, yeah, about 5 times. Less than 5 times now, but yeah, it's still quite a bit larger than ours. Of course, the naval increase over here, that's going to give us some prestige. It might actually even give us a bit more interest to declare. Yeah. We've got South China, Indochina. Could potentially try to... You know what? Let's get the Rhine. I believe that's going to cover several nations in Europe that we can then try trading with. Not that we necessarily have the convoys currently, but we could also... Actually, do I have rivals right now? No, okay. Who can I rival? Or rather, who should I rival? Japan would give us 300. You know what? That seems like it. Kind of unideal. sort out there. That might also mean that I won't really be able to trade with their market any further. I'm just gonna, you know, even though we might be able to, I'm just gonna cancel that one. And then, yeah, they declared rivalry as well. I kind of figured that might happen. Oh, right, can I not? No, I can't get that from there. Okay, I could import some from the British market. We'll do at least that. Well, the leader of the armed forces are retired. Or the, yeah, the army interest group. Okay, so well, I guess what we'll just do is we'll continue building some more ports right now. Because we kind of need a lot of them. And if we just build one at a time, it's not going to slow down the construction otherwise too much. The investment port is actually not dropping too much either. We're getting a steel mill, 2 iron mines, another lead mine, tooling workshops. So we are building a lot of industries. Already at 18.4 million GDP. That's actually not too shabby. We've got plenty of bureaucracy. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of laws that we can change, is there? No. Oh, we could actually get the religious schools now. Yes, please. I want to get the schooling done so we can get the literary rate going up. And that's going to allow us to then get more innovation. Oh, there we go. Baking powder down. Let's go ahead and switch that on the food industries. That should be a fairly good amount of extra groceries, which will then, of course, mean that it's perhaps a better standard of living. Because food in general will then be slightly cheaper. And there we go. We're actually still building out some gold reserves as well, which is very nice. But yeah, the tech spread is currently very much a problem. Ooh, steel railway cars. That's going to be very handy. That's also going to increase the demand for steel, which means that the steel mills will then have something more to do. So I like the sound of that. So the next one's going to be the cranes, and after that is probably going to be triage. There's going to be the one remaining level 2 one there. And then in society, I don't know. There's so many options still. But that at least will open up some more opportunities in there, so that'll be good. Right, there we go. Relations with China are now a little bit lower. So, yeah, there we go. We're still losing 0.15 per week. Partially because of the support regime, otherwise it wouldn't be too bad. Their prestige has, at least, it's not quite as much more than what we have, so they have probably lost a little bit. Yeah, they're back to 374. Which actually, that's manageable. Now, we do need to increase the fleet over here. Well, I suppose they need to hire a lot of people. They're not hiring all that quickly, unfortunately. But that might just be not enough qualifications, really. How's the food industry looking like? They are still having fairly good weekly balance, actually. There we go, now at 19 million. And once that port is done, we'll probably just get another... You know what? I'm going to go and get another university in here. It won't increase the innovation yet, but it will allow us to get the better qualifications there. We can hire up the officers faster that way. Academic assistance. I'll take the 10% success chance. That's not going to be too bad. But I do want to keep the universities running as much as possible with the research side of things. So the tooling workshop is almost done. The steel mill is in our capital will be done soon after that. And the iron mines are being built, I think at this point, since the innovation or investment port is still increasing in size, I think what we shall do... Do we have... we've got 2 in there already. Got 1 in here. I'm going to build another construction sector. We might also want to build another... No, actually, we've got 2 there, and we've got 4 over here in the northwest. And 3 in the capital. Okay, so that's interesting well... Let's just say that it's quite a distribution there. Okay, so ammunition is very high demand. That's good to know. Oh, that might be partially why the Chinese stuff is so high in... Or rather, the prestige has been growing. We could potentially build up another munitions plant and then just sell that again. But let's have a look at how's the economic entanglement looking like right now. It is still 2.3, okay. Oh, it's not at 1 full point from the GDP anymore because they only own 18 or about 19%. The GDP above us is still pretty massive though. But the buy orders, okay, so that's, yeah, no, I think things are actually getting slightly better for us in that regard. But I do see that we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you have it already. Also got the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.